Hello and welcome to Crafting Change. I'm Tiffany Herbert, the founder and executive director. There's nothing we love more than a good upcycling project, and that's just what we have for you today. Recently, my father-in-law dropped off at my house a stack of Levi jeans.
And we're going to take those Levi jeans and make this beautiful Earth Day tote bag. Let's get started. Here's your supply list. Jeans to upcycle. 1-inch heavy cotton webbing. Our favorite is this one from Country Brook Design. Sewing pins and clips, scissors, a grid ruler, a regular ruler, bias tape, or a serger to finish your inside seam. A jeans needle for your sewing machine, and your choice of thread.
We like this nice decorative stitching on the outside of our pants. And as you can see, the inside seam, there isn't one. So that's where we're going to open our jeans up, is on the inside of our jeans. So that's what we're going to do.
Now you're going to cut up 18 inches from the hem of the pants. So I like to draw this with a heat erasable pen, and I use my Hercules cutting saw. You can use any cutting implement you like. And now you're just going to use your scissors and cut off all of the extra fluff serger threads that are left after we opened up that inside seam.
Okay, now we're going to draw out our 3-inch squares on each corner of the bottom of our bag. This will be how we will box the bottom of our bag when we sew it up. So I'm going to line it up for a 3-inch square. Step in our pattern is to work on our pocket. So I have taken a piece of denim from a different pair of jeans. You can use the upper leg from the same pair of jeans, an entirely different piece of denim altogether, or you could use a canvas or upholstery fabric. You just want another piece of heavyweight fabric. This piece of fabric is 9 inches wide, 13.5 inches long. Pattern calls for us to turn over 1/2 inch. So grab a ruler or a seam guide so you can measure out the 1/2 inch. And you're going to iron sew this down right here. We have sewn our beautiful hem on our pocket here, and we're going to now attach it to the outside of one of the sides of our bag. We're going to evenly space it across the bottom of our bag, leaving about 1 inch on each side here from where our box corners will be. We're going to take it over to our machine and edge stitch this down. Have edge stitched your pocket down to one side of your bag, it's time to attach our cotton webbing. We love our Country Brook Design 1-inch natural cotton webbing, and that's what we're going to use today. So you start with a total of 3 yards, and then you cut that in half. So we have 1.5 yards right here, and you're going to lay it out. And you're going to just, first you want to do is you want to lay it out and make sure you don't have any twists in it. And once you're sure you don't have any twists, then you're going to put the bottoms here. And your goal is just to cover up this raw edge. And so what I usually do is I center the webbing on the pocket here, and I center the webbing on the pocket there, and I run it up the pocket centered. And I will do the same thing on this side. And you're going to note where your cotton starts. So again, untwist it and then set your cotton, line up this, set your cotton there, get a sewing clip, clip your cotton, clip your cotton, webbing there, and then line up your tote like that. We'll straighten it up through here in a minute, but we want to make sure when our bag is sewn that the top of our handles come out in the same spot, right there. So I'm going to grab 2 more clips. There. So when my bag is sewn, my bottoms are going to match and my tops are going to match. All right. Now, I want to straighten this up between my bottom and my top. So I'm just going to put a pin in like that. And you see I have added this little decorative patch, and that's because if you remember on this pair of jeans, I had that really bad stain. And so all I've done is taken a piece of quilting cotton, and then I put some fusible webbing on it, and I just ironed it onto the jeans over that big old ugly stain. And then I just did a decorative stitching around the outside edge, and poof, it's gone. And that looks really cute. So no jean is unsavable. So you can kind of eyeball it. Close counts. Just making a tote bag, not making a prom dress. And then you're going to take it over your sewing machine and you are going to sew the outside edge all the way up, over, back tack a few times, and then go all the way down and stop, and then start over here and go all the way up, over, back tack a few times, and go all the way down, and then we have added our cotton webbing to both sides of our bag, and now we're going to match up with right sides together. We're going to get it all clipped together. I have debulked my bulky seams there, and then we're going to take it over to our sewing machine and we're just going to sew right along both edges here and across the bottom. Okay, I've got my jeans needle in. I got everything lined up. You can see right here how I have the webbing is lined up really nicely. And when I go across that, I'm actually going to go across it twice. And it goes through really nicely. And I'm going to go back across it and make sure it's very secure. One of the things I like to do when I'm going to start on a really bulky seam like that is you can either start down here and back up into it, or take a scrap piece of felt like this and fold it up kind of thick. There's also those tools called hump jumpers, but you can really just do it with like a piece of fabric like this. And I just back it up under my presser foot like this and stick it under there like that, and that'll just help you get across that bulky seam. And then when you lower your presser foot, it gives it a little extra help. So as you can see, I'm going to go across like this, and then I'm going to back up, and then when I go forward, I have no problem.
to box the bottom, so match up the center seams like this. Make sure the bulk is going in opposite directions, and then add a few clips just so you're comfortable while you sew it. Make sure you do this to both sides, and then take it over to your sewing machine and just add a 1/4 inch seam allowance seam to it.
We have one last step to finish up our Earth Day tote, and that is to finish up our exposed seams and make sure we don't have any raw edges. There's really two great ways to do this. The first is with our serger, if you have one, and it really gives us a nice professional finish. The second great way is to use extra wide double fold bias tape and just cover up your raw edges and sew them down. All right, we have our finished Earth Day jean tote right here. It used to be a dirty old pair of Levi's, and now it is a super awesome tote bag. It's got a pocket right here that is big enough for your giant water bottle. And this bag is super amazing for a lot of Crafting Changes charity partners. So I hope you'll take a look at our website and see how you can go from crafter to craftivist today.